Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. We're back in the corner office this week. The weather has been weird, huh? Last week we did the corner out at Plum Island. We had just beautiful sunny weather. And even Friday we had weather that was super hot, up in the upper 80s. And then, do we have a switch, right? 30-degree drop for the weekend with rain. So that was kind of a bummer because we had a really busy weekend, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. First, congrats to our 155th graduating class of Newburyport High School, the class of 2023. They had a fun-filled senior week with lots going on. We had the car parade on Saturday, senior car parade, which was really great. I actually love this event. What I love about it is I get to, again, it's before I give the diplomas out right on Sunday, but I get to meet each one of the kids that decides to participate in the parade. And then I get to put the kids to the parents, because there are some parents in town I know, but I might not know their kids, or vice versa. So that I like that part of it too. It's kind of seeing the whole family get involved. And I love the cars getting decorated, and I love hearing where, for the ones that are going on to college, I love seeing their car decorated and saying where they're going to school too. So it's a really fun event. So that was great on Saturday. We had the graduation on Sunday. We had a pivot. A huge shout out to Superintendent Gallagher, Principal Wolf, his leadership team, the custodial crew, Steve Bergholm up at the high school. There was just a lot of thinking, a lot of looking at the weather, a lot of planning, and they really were able to pivot. And I thought we put on a wonderful ceremony inside in the gym at the high school on Sunday. So kudos to them, and again, congrats to the seniors. I did go to senior celebration for the first event before they got on the buses and took off. So I want to thank all the volunteers that came out to help out, a lot of the parents of the kids. So I appreciate them volunteering to put on that special night. I remember my senior celebration, and again, it was put on by all parents back then. I mean, they ran everything. So it's great now that we have Newburyport Youth Services kind of taking the lead, but those volunteers to come chaperone are so important. So thank you for coming out. It was great to see all the kids show up, and from what I heard, they had a great night the night after graduation. So that was a huge part of the weekend. What else was going on? So Friday we had our ceremony here in the morning for Gun Violence Awareness Day. We had a couple dozen people here. We had some great speakers. So that was a great event, really important. We're going to do that every year, first Friday of June. And then we kicked off Pride Month here in Newburyport. We had the governor here on Friday. We maybe had 300 plus people outside City Hall. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures of it, but it was just absolutely incredible. And the weather was, great. It was before, the temperature switch and the rain came. But it was just a wonderful, wonderful event. And the governor just did not disappoint. She was, it was one of the greatest speeches I've ever seen in person. As you know, Governor Healy has ties to Newburyport, so, that was talked about. And, our first openly gay elected governor as well. So she brought a lot to her speech kicking off Pride here in Newburyport. So I just want to thank her, thank her team, thank the Pride Board for making that happen. But it was just a really wonderful event. And the governor stuck around and took pictures and got to talk to people. And it was really just a wonderful, wonderful event. And it kind of led us into the next day where we had our first Pride Parade. Again, the weather wasn't incredibly great, but that didn't dampen the spirits. We had over 200 marchers in our first Pride Parade. We came down Green Street. The street was lined with people. Got on the waterfront, walked into Springfest, but it was just a wonderful, wonderful show of community. And it was just very exciting, and it's just a lot of fun. And I know this is going to be an event that just grows and grows each and every year. And I know we're going to be one of the biggest and best parades kicking off Pride here in Newburyport for years to come. So again, thank you for all the organizers and the Pride Board and everyone involved. It was just really just a fun, fun weekend. What else is going on? So there are other things going on. So it's Pride Month, right? So there'll be other things going on. So I would make sure you're checking out the Newburyport Pride website for any kind of events happening. There's also events that happen outside of the Pride Board too. So just on June 10th from 7 to 10 p.m., it's the 3rd annual Pride Sunset Cruise. And so if you're interested in that, just search for that on the internet, and they'll get you to the link to buy tickets for that for June 10th. But that's a fun event. So I just want to let you know that was going on too. But lots going on for Pride Month. It should be a great time here in Newburyport. So we're coming up to the end of school, right? So I talked about graduation. You know, my kids are trying to finish up their school. Sadie, my oldest Sadie is a freshman, so she's got finals that she's studying for now. So the last day will be next Wednesday, June 14th. And then what's great about that day, it's a half day that day. Kids get out for the summer. I think we're having one of my kids' classes over for a little pool party. But there's also the Mullen Teacher Awards that day, so I'll make the announcement of who is the recipient of those awards. But those are special awards because teachers nominate other teachers. Most of you know my father. He was a longtime teacher coach here in Newburyport, and he always said that the year he won the Mullen Award was one of his most proudest moments in his career, because it is special when you're getting recognized by your peers and. Like I said, it's like a huge achievement award in the field of teaching here in Newburyport. So we're looking forward to the Mullen Teacher Awards named after Ed Mullen, who started those for us. What else is going on? Last night, we'll stick with schools. Last night, the Newburyport Education Foundation had their end of the year awards. And it was a great event. It happened over at the deck. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the award winners there. Jed Petty, former president of the NEF, got the Excellence in Education Award. Super guy, very humble, still works, still volunteering with NEF, particularly with the investment club up at the high school. So congratulations, Jed. The Sidney Johnson Volunteer Award, Kate Brennan and Alicia Stevenson were the award winners. So congratulations. Thank you for all the hard work that you do, volunteering your time and expertise for the NEF. And then the Business Partner Award went to the Appleton Eye Associates. So a lot of great people recognized. It was a great event. And again, the NEF does so much for us here, for our schools here in the community. So it was a great time to get together and honor those giving their time. So I appreciate that. So what's going on in the city still? So we're still going through the budget process. Right now we'll have budget hearings this Thursday. And that will be on DPS. I think it starts with Parks and Highway. And then on Tuesday of next week, we'll have water and sewer. All right, so we have a lot of DPS coming up, but that's how we're going to close it out. And then the following Thursday, and we can talk about this next week, but that'll be a budget hearing. Committee, Council of the Whole will be a part of that, but that's when they'll start deliberating about the budget. And again, the whole budget is online. You can actually look up the meetings too, the hearing meetings that they've discussed each department of the budget. And just a high level view, it's a 4.5% increase. About 2.5% of that is all just contractual salaries that we have no control over. So again, it's a pretty modest budget. I do have some asks in there from the planning department, from our DPS to schools. So the city council has, after next week, would have spoken to all the department heads, spoken to the administration, and then they'll kind of talk amongst themselves about where they stand on some of these things. And then they can't add to our budget, they can only cut. So we'll have to see where we land there. But again, I think it's been a really good process so far, and I think they've asked good questions, and so we'll just have to see where they land next week. And then really, it's a big exhale once that budget finally gets voted on June 20th. Because then we know what we have, and then we can go ahead and start putting some of these things in motion that we've planned for the upcoming fiscal year. So we're excited about that. What else is going on? Street work is still continuing across the city. Again, we're redesigning some streets, so some of these are taking a little bit longer. Last year, again, it was about volume, right? We did 23 streets that really needed it last year. This year, it's taking a little bit longer because we're really working on redesigning some of the streets, putting in proper ADA curb cuts and things like that. We're working on slowing the traffic down on some streets. So we're doing a great job, and our new DPS director, Wayne Amaral, is doing a great job overseeing that process. But in the coming weeks and months, we're going to keep pushing forward on our streets plan. What else? We actually had a department head meeting today, and we hadn't had one in a couple months, just because we were in the middle of budget season. So I wanted to give my staff time to get everything prepared for that. But we did have a meeting today, and I thought it was really productive. And one of the things that came out of that meeting was that I'm putting together a working group around customer service. I mean, a lot of what we do here at the city level is customer service, right? Everything impacts residents somehow, and all of our departments touch the public in some way, right? It doesn't matter what the department is. So it was a really good conversation. I know at times for different populations in town, some of the customer service aspects can be challenging, right? There's the times that people are coming into City Hall or into the library or into the senior center and dealing directly, face to face with a person. But there's also times where, a lot of things we're moving to online, right? So that means, you've got to be able to, or at least if you can't, we have to be able to help the people that can't, but you've got to be able to pay bills online. And what's that look like from the resident perspective? So we're going to look at everything a little bit more. I think now that we have some really great department heads on board, like a James Pope, who can look at what we're doing on the technology side and how a resident is interacting with that software that helps pay bills, that helps interacts with the website and things like that. So I just want to let you know that we're looking at that, and we know how important customer service is to the residents here in Newburyport. And that was like my third goal, right? Of my State of the City this year is like making City Hall or making local government work better for our residents. So customer service is a huge part of that. So I'll keep you updated on how that working group goes. But just know that we do constantly think about how is this affecting the resident. It all comes back to the resident and what's their experience with City Hall. So we're working on that. What else is going on? So I want to announce that Jessica Atherton has been named my acting head librarian. As you know, a couple weeks ago I announced that our head librarian, Sarah Kelso, decided to move on. Jessica Atherton was our assistant head librarian, and she volunteered to step into this role. She's got a wonderful skill set. She's been out in the library for a long time, so she's familiar with the staff. And we really felt like we needed some continuity, that would kind of pick up where Sarah left off as the library board of directors, which myself and the city council president are a part of. We'll start that hiring process for the next head librarian. So just so you know, Jessica is not putting her name in that pool for the next head librarian, but she's definitely going to get us through this interim period. And so I have the ability to appoint an acting department head for 90 days, and then I could have 2 30-day extensions. That's right. I think I said that right. But this will give us some time. So I think it gives us 5 months to do a proper search, and hopefully find someone who's going to pick up that baton for us at the Newburyport Public Library. So thank you, Jessica, and we appreciate all your hard work and your willingness to serve in this capacity. So this weekend, what's going on? One of the things that's going on, it's a real special day for me, is Fireman's Sunday, and that takes place Sunday, obviously. But this is an event I attended as a kid. My grandfather, most of you know, was the first permanent fire chief here in Newburyport. He was there for a long time. But we used to all get to go to this because it was a really special day. It starts at 8:30 at the fire station, and then they march down State Street, make the turn onto Parker, and go to Oak Hill Cemetery. If you've ever been to Oak Hill Cemetery, when you go in the front gate, what you're looking at is at the Firemen's Memorial. And any firefighters who have died in the line of duty has their names engraved. And there's 2 firefighters that are actually buried on that plot as well, but there's a list of names. And it's just a nice little ceremony honoring them. And then we march back up to the fire station, and then we usually have like a nice breakfast. And it's a great opportunity for different families of the firefighters to meet. And I know some city councils will attend, but I attended last year. I plan to attend every year, but it was something I always attended as a kid. So it's fun to do. What's cool about this year is that we're also going to swear in our new chief, Chief Bradbury, after that event. So it's a double exciting event this year. So if you're around and you want to come out, again, it's a parade. So we'll be marching. You can, it's a way to honor our firefighters. And again, coming back, we'll swear in our new fire chief, and it's a new chapter for the Newburyport Fire Department. And I'm so excited to have Fire Chief Steve Bradbury in this role. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I think I hit everything. I hope everyone has a great week. This weather is going to turn around. Everyone that's finishing up school this week, keep studying, finish on a high note. And again, you're going to have a long summer. So it's going to be a longer summer because we go back after Labor Day, and we're getting out on the 14th. So summer's around the corner. Get excited. It's going to be a great time here in Newburyport. And I will see you next time on the Mayor's Corner.